Hey guys, welcome to Under the Arch Sports. Yeah, we're back. I'm Eric Hobbs,
And I'm David Woldingen.
and hey, Mizzou football not that far away. A little bit more than a month before fall camp, so we're going to start talking about the storylines of this season. We're going to have a series of videos on this, some countdowns, storylines, what have you. Today, we're going to talk about the biggest one of them all, the quarterback battle. Before we begin with that, please, guys, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and we're going to throw this guy on Spotify for you as well. All right, David, Missouri, going back to Brad Smith, has not had much in the way of quarterback battles. Perhaps this is the fiercest one in a generation.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one too because both candidates are relatively unknown and both have a lot of upside. Just from what we hear with our heads down, you have Sam Horn with a cannon of an arm, has the size too at 6'4" and the ability to possibly move around, scramble if needed. And then you have Pribula coming in from Penn State, who is just a leader of the clubhouse, if you will, has a lot of upside from everything we've heard on the Penn State side, and just the willingness to do whatever needs to be done to get on the field and win.
Right, that was the big story of the offseason, December, Beau Pribula transferring from Penn State, and the assumption for the longest time was, all right, done deal. Pribula's the quarterback. Let's and everything Drinkwitz has said during spring ball at SEC media days and everywhere in between, he has been adamant that this is an open quarterback competition. There were rumblings that Sam Horn during spring ball may have even been ahead of Pribula. So we'll see. But I think and in July, early August is going to be fascinating. And stretch lines, any sort of highlight on the X feed or social media, try to dissect who has an edge and who might be the starting quarterback for Mizzou. David, I think it's interesting that you look at Pribula when he was at Penn State, known as a runner, all right. 38 carries, 242 yards, 6.4 per carry there, four touchdowns along of 49. And he could run, true dual threat, but he also completed 74% of his passes, 26 to 35 for five touchdowns, one pick. He is more than just a running quarterback.
Yeah, and it's hard to put those numbers into perspective because a lot of that time he played was mop up time. I believe he had one game against Wisconsin where he came in for an extended period of time and actually performed really well both passing and running the ball. So really, I think what this battle is going to come down to is who can learn the system and who can make the decisions faster after reading the defense. Sam, I think, has a bit of an advantage in that front just because he's been with the program for 2 years and has been able to learn all the plays. However, a lot of this, I think, is going to come down to who makes the best judgment when on the field and who makes the least amount of mistakes.
Yeah, and that now you kind of alluded to something. You said 2 years for Sam Horn. You may be thinking, what? He was 22, 23, 24. Well, 2024, Tommy John surgery. He was, in street clothes. So with the program, but not actually getting reps, not throwing the ball. So that's something that is interesting. How quickly does he get his timing back? How quickly does he get any lost arm strength back? All that sort of stuff that comes after a major injury and surgery like Tommy John surgery. Um,
The good news was
if you're not tracking, yes, that injury came during baseball season in 2024.
Yeah, the good news is he was able to play all of spring ball, and he was with the club practicing during spring ball, so he was able to get some of that back, if you will, and test out his arm. The bad news, if you will, is he was drafted by the Dodgers as a 17th round pick and has a decision coming up if he doesn't end up earning the starter spot. Will he stay with the team or does he choose to go the baseball route?
Yeah, I personally don't think that's much of a decision for him to make. I think the fact that he fell to the 17th round, a lot of that is to do with the fact that people were assuming he was going to stay at Mizzou no matter what.
Mm.
But if all of a sudden Horn is gone, well, Matt Zoller's come on down. Now, I think Zoller's his name was thrown around as being part of this competition at media days. I don't really buy into that. I think that if Zollers is in legit competition to be the starting quarterback, he is either Brad Smith, Chase Daniel, and Blaine Gabbert, Drew Lock all rolled into one, or both Pribula and Sam Horn are disappointing in pretty epic fashion. So more than likely, it's not a good thing for Mizzou if Zollers is looking to be the starting quarterback or close to it, at least for this season.
Yeah, and he's coming off a bad ankle injury. I know he's actually been practicing with the club really since the end of the fall
He
semesters. So
Yeah,
around
he enrolled in January at Mizzou and did spring ball and all that, and whatever
so
other
so
drills.
so he's been working through his rehab. He's been practicing with the team. So he also has been around the playbook, if you will. However, as you said, he's incoming freshman. I just don't see him unless he's out of this world making a play against Horn and Pribula. But I mean, competition's not bad unless they're all bad. But based off of the demand, I I just don't see either Horn or Pribula failing in this competition. One or the other is going to win it, and it's going to be interesting to see who comes out.
Now, the one kind of dirty secret and elephant in the room to this is NIL. You've seen this with the you know Cardinals, baseball, any pro sport. They make an investment, a front office does. They kind of dictate that the guy we paid is going to play. Will there be an element to that for Beau Pribula? Will they say, well, we paid this dude. Our donors are going to be really mad if he's not the starter. Will that be a tiebreaker even? I don't know. Hopefully not, but it could be one where, yeah, maybe that might be a tiebreaker of, okay, we just paid this guy to come in. Donors are going to get pissed if they're paying all that to watch Fabiola hold a clipboard while Sam Horn goes out there and does his thing. Um, that's going to make donors less likely to open the checkbook next time around. So there's some pressure there to play him potentially. Um, I
I would
hope
argue
that isn't a factor, but it could be.
I would argue the caveat is if Horn wins the job and then they go on this huge run, I think it negates that
Oh
whole
yeah,
argument. The other argument I have is how much is getting paid? I know it's not been talked a lot, but when he came, they were throwing NIL money at him too. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're both getting paid around the same amount. Um, so it'll
I,
be
I,
interesting.
I was
It'll
just
be,
gonna say I disagree. I think these when Horn came in, it would have been a year by year kind of thing, and I think he seems like a guy who kind of is good to hang out, and as long as he's getting his, he's not going to immediately look to jump ship and go to the highest bidder. So I think he's getting paid, I'm sure, but I feel confident that Pribula is getting paid more right now. I got to think he's probably the highest paid guy on the team, just by nature of the position and the need and the urgency. Um, I think that you have that and recency bias. They just paid him, right?
mm,
So I think dropping a huge chunk of change on a guy, what, 6, 7 months ago to come from another school, I think that outweighs whatever they're paying Horn. So I think that pressure is there. I don't think it'll have a massive impact. I hope it doesn't, but it could be a tie-breaking type scenario where if they're both about even, they both got the same eligibility. Well, I'm paying Pribula more. Pressure's on him. Let's roll. That could be what happens. We'll see. Um, Either way, for a first year starter with the program, David, 6 home games to start things off. That will help.
Yeah, the first one is going to be kind of a cakewalk, and then they get thrown right into the fire with the old rivalry against Kansas. And I know they lost a lot of talent on that side, but they also have a lot coming back, so that might be a really tough game for Mizzou, especially trying to get a new quarterback under their belt. I kind of expect them to treat the offense, at least early on, kind of like what they did with Brady Cook in that game managed style before they open up the playbook and really show us what they can do. Just in the fact of they don't want to uh, promote turnovers and things like that. They want to control the ball. They don't want to take any chances, especially those early games like against Kansas, because that could set the tone for the rest of the season.
Oh yeah, Ahmad Hardy may be the best friend of either Pribula or yeah, a good running game. A lot of pressure off whoever earns his starting job, right? If he can hand the ball off to Ahmad Hardy or to Jamal Roberts or Marquise Davis or whoever is back there, Tavares Jones, anybody back there, that makes life easier. And we'll talk about more about that as fall camp gets underway. What this the makeup of the team, David? We got questions or storylines. We're going to talk about all of it.
Yeah, guys, football season's around the corner. Camp's about to start up. It's go time, and I'm excited for the new season. I don't know about all of you, but we'll keep you guys up to date with all things Mizzou here at Under the Arch Sports.